Hi, my name is Cigdem Ertem. I'm the Global Director for Public Sector and Education Sales at Intel. Today, I'm pleased to join you for the third day of Bettfest, where the theme is Resilient Futures, a topic that is top of mind for everyone. And I will talk about the importance of technology in building resilience into education systems. 2020 was a very difficult year for educators, parents, and students worldwide. COVID-19 disrupted our education systems with forced school closures, causing education decision makers to scramble to ensure the education continuity by whatever means possible. The sudden shift in education modality resulted in huge challenges for students, teachers, and parents, as well as to the education system itself, its infrastructure, content, and evaluation metrics. Above all, the expanding learning gap has reached alarming levels for governments, educators, parents, and of course for students. Stressed students and educators are not a new phenomenon in 2020. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, 10 to 20% of children and adolescents worldwide experienced mental health disorders even before COVID-19. The sudden changes brought by COVID-19 and the interruption of campus activities, face-to-face interaction, and social learning environments have made things worse. In China, studies show a rise of about 10% in depression and anxiety in children and young adults compared with 2019. The same is true in Germany. In addition, confinement has made it more challenging for some schools to provide mental health services. In a UK study, 23% of respondents said that there was less mental health support in their school than before pandemic, while only 9% said there was more mental health support. The stress felt about the present situation is often made worse when thinking about the future. Forecasts show that the typical student might expect about 3% lower career earnings even if schools immediately return to 2019 performance levels. And in addition to the disruption of pandemic, our world is also transforming. The fourth industrial revolution is fundamentally disrupting our world, which brings with it feelings of uncertainty as well as excitement.
We're perched at the edge of a revolution that expands our idea of the possible beyond what we've ever imagined. It will redefine the roles of humans and machines in the workplace to maximize innovation and creativity. Some call it the fourth industrial revolution, some call it Industry 4.0. For the nearly 2 billion children in school around the globe, this shift will significantly impact their lives and their roles in the future workforce. These changes hold great promise to help us solve the greatest challenges facing our world. Today's young people will require higher order thinking skills so that they can solve problems in ways never imagined before. Even traditionally hands-on careers will harness the power of technology. These future jobs will demand analytical thinking, ideation and complex problem solving, systems analysis and evaluation, technology design and programming, creativity, innovation. Using technology to access and consume content is no longer sufficient. Students need devices, tools, and training to apply, analyze, and create at the pace of change.
Even before COVID-19, we knew that preparing the next generation for this future world would be a big and urgent challenge. The disruptions the education system has faced in this past year have just brought that challenge into a sharper focus. This is threatening global education systems, including universities, but also the future competitiveness of the countries. There is such a big skill gap that some employers, including Google, are already developing alternatives to traditional education paths. And with more companies planning for telework, the job market is increasingly becoming global. So, as the EdTech leaders, what is our responsibility? How can we build education systems that can help develop the human resilience required to face the challenging of the global landscape. How can we make sure that students will be ready for the workplace of the future? We need to start by building education systems that are more resilient. Resilient enough to handle whatever the future throws at us, whether it's a natural disaster, a future pandemic, or demanding changes of the job market. Now let's take a look at what it means to be resilient. Human resilience is defined as our ability to adapt and bounce back when things do not go according to the plan. It requires hard work and tenacity, teamwork and collaboration, working toward a shared vision. It calls for social emotional skills and composure, as well as the reasoning, ability to problem solve, and a dedicated, healthy lifestyle. So, what is a resilient education system? A system is resilient when it can rapidly and effectively protect its critical capabilities from disruption caused by future events and conditions. Education systems need to be resilient themselves before they can support the resilience of students and educators. So, what does it take to create this? It takes dedicated people, a culture of resiliency, and innovative use of all tools available, including technology. At Intel, we believe that technology can play an important role here. So, let's see how. First, by providing reliable, secure, and robust infrastructure, including connectivity, storage, capacity, data security, and tools for manageability to keep the teaching and learning experience as seamless and secure as possible. Second, ensuring that each person is equipped with the right device, the right combination of performance and features to take the stress out of anywhere learning and keep teachers and students focused on teaching and learning, not on technology issues and troubleshooting. Third, creating a structure for educators to become the leaders of their learning. This is about professional development and supporting the changing role of educators, enabling teachers to handle different learning modalities and address the future needs of their students. Fourth, creating digital content adapted to anywhere learning to maximize continuity and minimize learning loss during disruptions, allowing teachers to maximize technology use for project-based learning and future skills, whether the students are at school or at home. And finally, fostering continuous connection and collaboration, not only for mental health, but also for human connectedness and teamwork, important social skills now and in the future. Now, let's start with the need for a reliable, secure, and robust infrastructure. COVID-19 has shown us the challenges of bringing technology into the learning experience. During the first wave of school closures in the US, 87% of educators reported spending more time in troubleshooting technology issues than before. We must make wiser choices and consider the long-term viability of students' long-term investments. Consider connectivity, manageability, security, and performance. IT infrastructure must deliver an easier, frictionless, more manageable, and more equitable learning and teaching experience. Some school districts had the foresight to build a strong infrastructure and were able to respond quickly. For many, the work has just begun. As the 2020-2021 school year continues, with the largest experiment of hybrid learning, we have to consider our choices wisely, so we can provide a reliable learning experience for everyone. Next, we need to consider that technology is essential for a more equitable world. First, it facilitates access to educational opportunities. And let's not forget that there are still millions of students without this key support. But beyond access alone, the PC is no longer just a tool to serve up content to be consumed. The PC is becoming a powerful gateway to many interactive learning experiences. These rich experiences model physical settings like a chemistry lab, foster teamwork and collaboration via video conferencing, as well as enable rich media creation. With the right PC, this can happen anywhere. In fact, we call it anywhere learning. Using the PC, teachers can integrate project-based skill-building activities, such as Skills for Innovation, an Intel initiative that can help introduce excitement and new challenges in remote and in-classroom learning. They can also help the student gain reasoning and analytical skills needed for their future Fourth Industrial Revolution careers. Overall, these rich activities nurture a sense of purpose. A great example is Math Hoops from LearnFresh. Originally based on a board game donated by Hasbro, the program engages elementary and middle school students in math and social-emotional learning through partnership with the NBA and Women NBA basketball. As a result of COVID, the LearnFresh team developed a PC-based digital experience that maintains the gameplay excitement as it shifts from physical to virtual.
The new digital edition of NBA Math Hoops reimagines the in-person experience in an engaging virtual environment. NBA Math Hoops caters to many teaching and learning styles, including classroom, out-of-school time, and at-home education. This year, our educators and families can choose to implement the program in facilitated or independent learning environments.
I find it inspiring to see how this team is following their passion for supporting students even remotely and helping build the new skills during these difficult times. Let's now consider the importance of professional development for teachers in this time of change. The role of teachers is evolving. Teachers now have technology available to help them personalize instruction or use the new content ready for anywhere learning. They are expected to adopt new education models like the flipped classroom and massive open online courses, and increasingly expected to become more of a facilitator than a director in the classroom. Meanwhile, they are being held to higher standards for student outcomes. To do all of this effectively, they need to build new skills, which requires investing more time to professional development. As part of Intel's Skills for Innovation initiative, we are developing tools to help educators integrate technology, involve skill building and higher order thinking in their teaching, and be ready to create the new content adapted to these new skills in a blended learning environment. We are enabling educators to become leaders of the learning experiences so that students can develop a positive vision of themselves for the future and gain the new mindsets and skill sets such as tenacity, composure, and reasoning that they need to be successful. There are higher expectations for students as well. Students are now expected to create, not just consume content, and to develop problem-solving skills. They are also expected to collaborate with their classmates and learn how to present their work to their teachers and peers. All of this is aimed at equipping them to be self-directed, lifelong learners. This requires enriching the curriculum to focus on building the right skill sets and mindsets. The Singapore Academy of Young Engineers and Scientists and the STEM Inc. program took the Intel Skills for Innovation Starter Pack to jumpstart this effort. What is key here is the full integration of technology and topics such as computational thinking, programming, and coding into other disciplines. Using a project-based learning approach, the Starter Pack provided them a set of ready-to-use lesson plans together with curriculum mapping guidance and recommendations for hardware and software technology. This is an example of how Skills for Innovation can be brought to life through an immersive learning experience while building resilience for the future. Finally, with the rise of video conferencing and collaboration tools, we have gained a full appreciation for online connections. The ability to connect virtually has lessened the feeling of isolation. However, low-speed connectivity remains a concern. It can diminish the quality of learning and create unnecessary eye strain for students and teachers. Fortunately, PCs with embedded AI capabilities can mitigate the negative impact of slow connectivity during video conferences, and compensate for poor image quality. We also see technology playing an active role in strengthening the resilience of students. Using technology and analytics tools, schools can support the social and emotional well-being of their students to help them grow the skills of self-awareness and self-regulation in this time of stress. As we move forward, we must consider the essential role that schools play in the well-being of children and students. When our education systems fail, we fail the next generation. So, we need to invest in students and educators and the technologies to help them succeed. Over the past 15 years, Intel has played an important role in education. We have invested more than $1 billion globally. We have trained more than 15 million teachers worldwide in ICT skills. We partnered with our ecosystem, research institutes and NGOs, and supported education transformation programs globally. Since April 2020, as part of our pandemic response efforts, we have worked with our partners to combine our unique assets and capabilities to ensure that students have access to a meaningful virtual learning experience. In these challenging times, we continue to show our support. We believe that together we can build back better, and we want to work with you to make it happen. Thank you.